Welcome to this edition of Labor Vision. I'm Bob Delaney, Executive Director of the Institute for Labor Studies and Research. Labor Vision, a production of the Institute, focuses on topics of importance to working Rhode Islanders. We hope you enjoy this edition.
Welcome to Labor Vision, a production of the Institute for Labor Studies and Research. My name is Erica Hammond, Workforce Labor Liaison at the Institute, and joined with me today is President Frank Sánchez of Rhode Island College. Thank you so much for joining us, Dr. Sánchez.
It's great to be here. Thank you.
All right, so you're going to talk to us a little bit about the RIC Promise program, RIC Promise, right? And can you talk to us a little bit about it? Tell us about the proposal and why it's so necessary.
The Rhode Island College Promise that's been proposed by Governor Raimondo, actually, as many folks know, 2 years ago they proposed and passed the CCRI Promise. The Rhode Island College Promise is a little bit different in that if you go to CCRI and get admitted to open admissions, you get 2 years free tuition coverage for your certificate. At Rhode Island College, though, in order to receive the promise, you have to attend full-time for the first 2 years and pay your own way.
Okay.
In addition to that, you have to complete about 60 credit hours, so you have to be on path to a 4-year degree, and then have a minimum GPA after 2 years of a 2.5.
Okay.
Once you've done that for 2 years, then you can receive support for your junior and senior year. So it's really, it's an incentive grant.
Right.
It tells Rhode Islanders that if you're willing to put in some sweat equity, have some skin in the game, work hard for the first 2 years, you know what, the state recognizes that, and we want to help you get that college degree.
We want to invest in you, really.
We want to invest in you, absolutely. And I think it's good on so many levels for Rhode Islanders. From an economic development side, we're keeping talent in the state, which at Rhode Island College, 70% of our graduates stay in Rhode Island. And so this is a way of kind of feeding that engine, putting fuel into that engine so we can produce more degrees, more talent, and ultimately that attracts businesses and companies to want to set up shop in Rhode Island.
So that kind of lays out the eligibility of it, right? And so why is it so necessary for Rhode Island now?
Well, I think it's necessary on a number of fronts. One, as a lot of folks know, tuition is increasing all over the country. There's more and more debt is going out there, and I think a lot of families with very bright, talented, motivated kids are struggling to find ways to pay for college. I think the Promise offers an alternative strategy to right-size tuition, and at the same time invest in that talent to stay in the state. And so I think it's important as a strategy to reduce debt. It's a strategy to keep talent in the state, and frankly, it's a strategy to improve the economy of the state. Because when you have an individual with less debt after college, they're more likely to buy a car, start a business, maybe invest in graduate school, and then on top of that, again, if 70% are staying in the state, you get to keep that talent and get to reap the benefits of that talented pool back into our economy.
I know exactly how that is on a personal level, as I'm paying my undergrad loans right now and just trying to pay them off until I can save a little bit and then establish myself, move into my own place, and then think about masters.
Yeah,
right?
so imagine if you didn't have that debt.
Right.
You could either go right into your master's degree or invest in other things that you need, a new car or paying off loans you may have built up with your parents or whatever, or credit card debt. Right. No, I think there are direct benefits to Rhode Islanders if this were to pass.
And with student loan debt nearing, it's approximately $1.6 trillion in the state, right?
Yeah.
This would be amazing. It's like the logical approach for Rhode Island.
And I think it's logical on a number of levels. One, not only will it benefit all Rhode Islanders, but in particular, I think there would be huge benefits to blue-collar, working-class, middle-class families in particular. And the reason why I say that is if you come from a low-income class family, you're eligible for federal aid, federal financial aid. So Pell Grants, subsidized loans, other assistance to pay for school. And if you come from high-income families, you have choice. You have a choice for public, private schools, colleges, universities all over the country, in fact, all over the world, because you have resources to pay for that. But if you come from the middle class, it is increasingly becoming difficult to pay for college. I mean, Rhode Island College is an example. We are the most affordable four-year college degree in all of New England. But we're still at, before any kind of federal aid, we're at $40,000 now. That's getting, for middle-class families and for modest, blue-collar working-class families, that's getting to be too much.
It is.
And so you may have a brilliant kid, very talented kid that deserves a college degree and can go out and change the world. But if you can't afford that college degree, it's just never going to happen. And so we see this as benefiting a lot of families, not only to keep debt down, but to engage a community in Rhode Island that historically the middle class really haven't seen a lot of legislation that benefits them. This is one of those that I actually think it would.
And in your opinion, why do you think Rhode Island families should be concerned about college affordability?
Oh, well, you can ask a lot of families today who have kids going to college. It's a strain, certainly, on their pocketbook or their checkbook. Oftentimes, they're having to forego retirement. Often parents, they're saying, well, geez, we can't put as much away in retirement because we have to pay for increasing costs of not just tuition and fees, but books, educational expenses. I think there are a lot of families, and particularly those that are just getting by, they're trying to figure out there's really not a good pathway to get that college degree for my son or my daughter, or having to make very hard choices to say, well, we have 3 kids, we might be able to afford one to be able to go to college, and how do you make those choices? And so I think this legislation is a great strategy, in fact, nationally, that if it were to pass, I think there would be a lot of states across the country looking at Rhode Island to say, now how do they make college so affordable? And look at the strategy that the governor's been leading.
Absolutely. And how, upon passage, would this affect Rhode Island's economy?
So I think a lot of different ways. As we talked a little bit earlier, one, you have graduates with less debt. And so they're going to be able to give back to the economy really immediately. Again, perhaps invest in a new business or entrepreneurial initiative, purchase a car, be able to give back immediately without that debt. I think the other way it contributes to the economy, again, as I mentioned earlier, when you have the talent that companies want, they're all interested in talent acquisition. There are a lot of companies and corporations out there that say, we just can't find quality graduates. And so, they go to states that are producing a lot of graduates. In America, they're going to Massachusetts, they're going to Boston, they're going to New York City, they're going to epicenters where there are a lot of higher education institutions and a lot of students graduating. This is where Rhode Island, as part of the New England kind of corridor, has an opportunity to attract businesses. We have a lot of great institutions here, but if we can show a volume of graduates, I think it becomes more attractive, and whenever you can bring more business and companies in, that helps the overall economy. And so I think this is a great way for Rhode Island College to contribute to that economy by keeping very talented and very hard-working students. Keep in mind, these are students that have to demonstrate their commitment to a 4-year college degree, and they got to work hard. And in fact, I think there's going to be a lot of students who attempt to get the promise, but just won't qualify, just because they won't be able to maintain 60 credit hours or the 2.5 GPA. These are students that have met that requirement and are hardworking, committed, talented students, and those are the ones going to be getting their degrees and going out into the workforce.
And there's a reason why Rhode Island would be investing in these individuals.
Absolutely.
They're already showing themselves.
Yeah, they're demonstrating hard work. That's kind of life, right? If you're willing to work hard, then you should reap the benefits of hard work. It's not a giveaway in any way, shape, or form. It's actually a very smart investment. In fact, a lot of folks, critics will say, well, I don't agree with this, but I do believe we should be investing more into higher education. Well, here's actually a way to invest more into higher ed. Instead of giving, the whole overall program is about $2.3 million and then some monies for infrastructure. But what if you the other alternative, just in terms of supporting higher ed, is what if you just gave that money generally to higher ed? You're not really knowing where it's going or how it's improving or moving the dial or anything. In this way, you're giving more money to higher ed, but the reality is you're giving it back to taxpayers.
Yep.
You're saying, here's a way to give to higher ed, but support money, putting it in the hands of families and taxpayers that are supporting our higher education institutions. So I think there's a win-win all the way around. Higher education's happy because they're seeing additional revenue generation because of hopefully increased enrollments. And at the same time, the taxpayers saying, well, geez, I get a benefit if I choose to go Rhode Island College. The state's going to help my son or daughter, provided they're a full-time student, 60 credit hours, 2.5 GPA. We're going to help them their junior and senior year and get them over the finish line.
It seems like it's a far more trackable revenue too, or you can see exactly where the benefit is going. You can see where the money is who the money is being put into, and then what's coming out of that, and what the return is on the economy.
No question, no question. In fact, I think you'll see very, very high of students who qualify for the promise. Very, very high four-year graduation rates, probably in the 90 percentile of those students who get the promise will graduate.
That wouldn't surprise me at all.
Remember, to qualify, you got to pay your own way, you got to work hard, you got to be on track. What if you didn't have to worry about that debt the last 2 years? And I think at Rhode Island College, that's where the great benefit is. We have a lot of students. In fact, we're above the national average of students that take 5 and 6 years to graduate, not because they're not capable intellectually or academically or their ability, it's financially. They can't do it. So they got to get another job, they have to go part-time, they kind of hammer away at it, eventually get their degree, but it just takes them longer. What if we could say, you know what, you don't have to take out that job because it's going to be covered your last years and just have you focus on your studies. You're going to see very high graduation rates.
Absolutely. And I want to backtrack just a little bit. On the other side of things, when we were talking about economy and seeing how investing in these students then turns around and betters the economy in Rhode Island, also I'm thinking about what you said a few minutes ago, that difficult decision parents or guardians have to make when deciding whether to put money away for their kids for school or to put food on the table, or just not little, but very important decisions. The ability to not have to worry about that and be able to just invest in the economy right away, really. You see it there too. You see that investment there.
No, you absolutely do. I mean, if you think about it, Rhode Island College, this is a very common track for our students. So they save money all through their high school with a job, and they save a lot of money to get through the first year. Without any federal grants, that's about $10,000. So they're working hard to save money. The second year, their junior year, they kind of beg and borrow. They say, well, geez, how am I going to make this work? I got to find some money to keep going to school.
Junior year is a tough year.
The junior year is where they begin to go, I borrowed, I begged, I'm not sure, I got to go back to work. I got to go part-time, kind of move away from the full-time status, go part-time, or just stop out altogether until you make a little more money to then enough for tuition in a year or two. That is a common story at Rhode Island College, and so you have talented, again, motivated, oftentimes brilliant students that should be in our economy contributing back, but they're not getting their degree because of affordability. And this is where the Rhode Island College Promise, I think, is particularly helpful, and I think will help a lot of families in Rhode Island, and frankly, a lot of students who want to stay in Rhode Island.
Absolutely.
You know, a lot of people are concerned about the brain drain. Well, you graduate students and they go on to other states to get jobs. That's actually not true for Rhode Island College. I think it is for other institutions, but it's not true at Rhode Island College. Again, 70% of our graduates stay in Rhode Island.
This would be incredible. Now, before we wrap up, what are some ways you think that our labor community can get involved in making this, advocating for this program?
Absolutely. A great question. So right now, we're at getting ready to conclude the final kind of session. So we need action now. We need people to reach out to their legislators, the senators, state representatives, and tell them how important this is for, I think, for all Rhode Islanders, for working class, modest mean, blue collar families all over the state. That has to happen now. And so it's imperative that we move right now, because they're having discussions on their budget as we speak. And I don't know when this is going to air. I hope it airs here
as soon as possible.
In the next couple hours, certainly within the next day, because they're beginning to make decisions on the budget and have agreement, between the governor and the speaker. And so now is the time to take action, make a phone call, send a letter, send an email, but share with our legislators why this is so important for Rhode Islanders in advancing our higher education institutions, but more importantly, advancing our community, advancing our families, allowing students to move oftentimes from modest means, lower income families to the middle class, and sometimes from the middle class to the higher level class through education. And we've got to come up with a better strategy to make a high quality degree more affordable. Our current model is not sustainable. We simply cannot continue to increase tuition year after year after year. We have to come up with a better model. And I think the Rhode Island College Promise is that model.
All right. Well, you guys heard it here. Thank you so much. We're just about out of time. I want to thank you again for taking time out of your busy schedule to be here. We really appreciate it.
Great,
all right,
thank you.
Everyone, my name is Erica Hammond. Joined with me tonight is President Frank Sánchez of Rhode Island College. Thank you so much for watching Labor Vision. We hope to see you back here again next week. Have a great night.
The final part of this evening's celebration is the awarding of the prestigious Eagle Awards. It really is the nicest trophy anybody could give you, and believe me, it's a gorgeous piece of work. This year, 3 exceptional individuals will join an elite group listed in your program book. Each award winner has distinguished him or herself through their working lives as leaders who have demonstrated the highest ideals of leadership in the workplace and in the community. Their merits, as you're about to hear, will make it abundantly clear why each was selected for the honor which will now be bestowed unto them. The final Eagle Award will be presented to Karen Hazzard, President LIUNA, Local 808. The award will be presented by Judy Cowell, Paul Borracho, and Tom DeFazio.
Hi, I'm Tom DeFazio, Secretary-Treasurer of Local Union 808. Karen leads by example. No one works harder than she does for our members. She takes the time to educate them on issues that affect them directly. She's always about education for the members to advance in their careers and to make their lives better. It's her passion. It's always impressed me how inclusive she is. This e-board has a wealth of experience in many different areas, and Karen is keen to know our opinions and viewpoints.
Hi, my name is Judy Cowell. I'm the field representative, Local 808. I just want to say Karen Hazzard is the quintessential optimist. After so many years of serving our members, she still has that generosity of spirit that is at the core of what we believe the labor movement is all about. That is just her. Whether it's with her family, 808 members, or out on the picket line at Stop and Shop, fighting for other union members. She gives of herself tirelessly and with no reservation. The members love her for that.
Hi, my name is Paul Borracho, President of Local 808. Karen has walked the walk. She's been a state employee for over 30 years. She knows the ins and outs, workings of state government, the workings of the public sector, and how to work with management. She gives everyone the respect they deserve, but she won't back down when she knows her position is the right one for the members. She's very adept at handling all the language for the 23 bargaining units we represent and all the contract language it entails. It's a very big undertaking, but Karen takes it all in stride Karen, congratulations.
Congratulations, Karen.
With that wonderful tribute, I'd like to invite Judy Cowell, Paul Borracho, Tom DeFazio, and Karen Hazzard to the stage, please.
Thank you. Thanks, Jude. Wow. Thank you. Some of you already know that I actually wasn't going to make it. I all of a sudden got a very bad sinus infection a couple days ago. So I've been working with it for the last 24 hours. I'd like to take the time to first thank the Institute. It's an honor to be here. It's an honor to actually be considered for this award. I've been here for many nights over the years, and it's really great to even be considered. I'm always in awe when I'm in the crowd with the people who receive this award. So it kind of takes me aback to realize that I've been doing this for 31 years. That time just kind of goes by really quick. But for me, the greatest thing is to have the opportunity to not just express my gratitude, but to say thank you, because you know, you don't do it alone. Whether I'm working with other unions, whether I'm working with management, my e-board, I have such a great support system. As you can see, it doesn't just happen overnight. You have to get to know each other, communicate, keep everything open, know that your job is customer service at all times, that there are people that you represent that deserve the best that you can give them. But that doesn't come by just years. It comes by the people that you have the advantage to be in the company of, like Michael Downey. I started out in Council 94 in 1988 at the University of Rhode Island. Then I went up to Zambarano, where I had Marie Forge, who was the business manager at the time. And then soon after, I was under the tutelage of Frank Chacon for several years. And then when he left, I had the honor to be taught by what I believe to be one of the greatest leaders in labor, and that was Michael Sabatoni. I also want to make sure that I express my gratitude to the support staff. I have to do this. This is just, I'm the last person. I know the Bruins game is on. I'd like to thank Gina, Giselle, Angelina, Jess, Angela, Freddie and Joe are in the office. David, you're my heart. You're just a great guy. Kavork, I know he's not here tonight. I was looking for him. But all the staff that are there, the health funds, anyone within the agency. I know that Armin couldn't make it tonight, but I'm glad that Vinny did come in his place. Armin has always said that you have two types of families. One is your union labor family, and your other family is what you have. I have to tell you, as someone who has been doing this for 30 years, I could not do it or be here tonight or any other night without the support from probably one of the greatest people I know, which is my wife, who we've been together for over 21 years. I just wanted to take this opportunity, Lisa, to say thank you. We have 8 wonderful kids, 3 great dogs, and I couldn't do this without you. And I'm just very proud of who we've become. I'm very proud of how things have turned out, and I'm very, very proud to be a laborer. Thank you so very much.
concludes the 39th Annual ILSI Awards Dinner, and I'll tell you, this has been quite a night, hasn't it? Bob, I think this has been the best one we've ever had. The graduates, the participants, the great team that you put together, and the speeches were absolutely remarkable and inspiring. Congratulations to all of you. Safe home to everybody. And this is the reason why you support the Institute, because of what happened on this stage tonight. And it happens every day at the Institute. Thank you and good night.
Thank you for joining us for this edition of Labor Vision. We appreciate your input and encourage your comments. Labor Vision can be seen on this channel 3 times each week: Tuesday at 7 p.m., Thursday at 8 p.m., and Saturday at 5 p.m.